From me, and welcome to Friday's programme. First tonight, it's been in place since January, and now the clean air zone in one of our cities is about to get bigger.
Yes, certain commercial vehicles like buses, taxis and HGVs have to pay up to £50 a day to enter Newcastle city centre, and on Monday that's due to be widened out to bring in vans and light goods vehicles. It's
aimed at improving air quality, of course, although some commercial drivers say the rules are confusing and very costly. Chris Jepson reports.
So this is actually the part of the exhaust that they change. The big silver box here, this is the silencer, and average price £15,000 to £20,000.
And how many do you need to change?
5, so that's £100,000 we have to pay on exhausts.
Graham's costs have rocketed since Newcastle's clean air zone came into place 7 months ago. He needs to make major changes on his coaches, but still hasn't received the grant to do so.
Every time we enter Newcastle, there's a £50 charge. So you have those 5 coaches in today, it's £250. We've tried hard enough, we've done everything, we've jumped through all the hoops. Please give us these grants.
This is about survival, isn't it?
Survival for the coach operator, because he needs some help. We've came through COVID, we're just starting to get going again. We've got something else, and something else comes along, bang, hits us.
On Monday, the clean air zone is being extended to polluting vans and light goods vehicles. But for the HGV, bus and coach companies like Graham's, they found the rollout and communication from the council frustrating.
So operators are trying to seek clarity, but then the communication hasn't been sufficient in answering that. So again, we're very willing, we're a very willing partner working with the local authority to meet the clean air aims and objectives. It's just what we need is a little bit more clarity individually with operators.
Newcastle's clean air zone covers much of the city, including the 4 main bridges. But with HGVs and vans being added to the list, what's the council doing to ensure grants are paid and to make the process simpler?
Whilst we're processing grants, people will not be charged for entering the CAZ. It is taking us some time to get through because we've received quite a lot of applications from a number of the vehicle classes: taxis, HGVs, buses and LGVs. We've had a lot of media and comms, TV adverts and radio, so I think people are aware of the charges that are coming in on Monday.
Whether teething problems or too much tape, the science tells us the clean air zone works, with a 26% drop in nitrogen dioxide emissions in the first half of this year compared to the same period last year.
From the initial study, we have seen a big reduction, and I understand that with the LGV and vans, it's going to have again another step in right direction. It will lead to further improvement in air quality.
For Newcastle to have cleaner air, drivers say they need clearer information and a speeding up of the grants process to make it work.
Let's get more on this now with Chris. So Chris, the existing zone now applying to more vehicles, and of course all of this is being imposed by the government.
Well, that's right. It's all part of the government's net zero targets, which involve cutting emissions by 100% from 1990 levels by 2050. Now, Newcastle was one of the councils ordered by the government to take action over illegally high levels of pollution in its city centre. And those high levels can lead to severe health problems, particularly among young people, older people and people with pre-existing conditions. Now, as you saw in my report there, the recent study by Northumbria University, which measured levels of emissions near the civic centre in the first half of this year, it found clearly that there was a reduction in those emissions compared to the same period last year. And Newcastle Council say that they really think that extending the zone to include those vans and light goods vehicles on Monday will further enhance and improve the quality of our air in this city.
Thank you, Chris. And of course you can read much more about